Well, I suppose the one thing that's clear, Mark, is that the police said after their meeting with the BBC that they would make further inquiries, and they used the word inquiries, not investigation, which is a more formal step, to establish whether a criminal offence had occurred. And I suppose that is now the key mission of the police, and they will have to carry out that mission amidst the competing claims of, on the one hand, the young person via their lawyer, and the other one, the young person's mother, via the son. I guess the BBC will want to continue to establish whatever facts they can, but clearly now the matter is really in the police's hands to try to establish whether there's been a criminal offence or not.
Well, yeah, it is, but I guess it's still also, you know, this matter for the BBC, and it may be a reason, Stuart, for the delay or the perceived delay and the circumspection that the BBC is showing. We don't know because we haven't had a direct statement from the BBC.
Yes, I mean, the BBC has certainly never hinted or cited at anything of this nature, but clearly they must have had notice of this letter from the lawyer at least an hour or so before its release. And whether they had it in time to when they saw the police, we simply don't know. I mean, I think some of us have not actually jumped to any conclusion about whether the BBC handled the case, their investigation properly, because we simply didn't know what the original complaint was, and therefore you couldn't really judge their performance until you knew what were they told when. I personally thought that the story today would become, is the story true or not? And my forecast was that if there was evidence of bank transfers from the presenter to the young person, that would be, in a sense, a crucial element. And if there wasn't, that would be a crucial moment in the story. But in fact, to be blunt, the story's got more muddy now, hasn't it? And we don't quite know who's saying what. But I think in that sense, it's almost fortunate now it's in the hands of the police.
Well, as you say, the police will have to get to the bottom of that. Just what about, Stuart, the role of social media in all this? Because you say, you know, muddying the waters. It's very... Everything happens so quickly, and, you know, these sort of stories get legs very quickly, you know, on social media.
They do, and I think anyone who made any kind of accusation on social media against any BBC presenter, or indeed anybody else, is really now on notice to know that there will be lawyers coming for them. That's pretty much what some BBC presenters have said. And of course, they will now, if they were in a sense relying on the Sun's journalism to support them, well, they may have pause for thought about that. I had been surprised all along that the Sun never showed any paper evidence, shall we say, no paper trail, such as a bank statement to support their allegations. But they are, if you like, as you said, standing by their journalism. And this is actually a pretty big moment for British tabloid journalism as much as it is for the BBC.
Yeah, and just, I know you've got to go, Stuart, just very briefly, do you see there's an issue, you know, political issue between the Sun and the BBC and their, you know, the Sun's attitude to the BBC?
I don't think so. I mean, for instance, the Sun, for some reason, did not name the person when 5-10 years ago, they would have certainly put a name in an allegation. So there are changing times in these things. But I'm sure that over at News UK headquarters, there are some anxious concerns going around the newsroom and indeed around the legal office at the moment.
OK, Stuart, thank you very much indeed for coming on. Thank you.